What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talk Talk Punch. Thank you so much for joining us. I am Brody, joined by Tudong Dylan
Hey,
and the Nat 20 of this die roll, Charlie Hickman.
I'll take it. It's better than being the Nat Light of this podcast. So I appreciate the Natty Light.
All right, we'd love it if you subscribe so that way you can come back here every Wednesday and hang out with us and see what we're talking about. Kind of like this week's topic. We are ranking all of the movie villains from the Batman movies.
Good.
So
nice.
we got pretty much all of them. Not all of them, because we only have so much space on our screen. The pictures would get so small if we had every single one. So we went through, we picked some of the big ones, and we're just going to rank them. If you've never seen one of our rankings before, great. We're going to take all these, we're going to talk about them, we're going to jumble them up, shuffle them up into a pile, and then they're going to come out, and we're going to place them in a rank. Just because they come out doesn't. They're stuck there. They may move around as things come out, may push them higher or lower, whatever. But here we go. You guys ready for this?
Oh yeah.
I'm ready. It's a lot of villains. I wonder if we're gonna have similar opinions or if it's gonna be a little controversial. Will number one end up shocking us? I wonder.
I think that there's gonna be some controversial hot takes. Because I know for a fact that not all of these we agree on.
We'll find out.
This is true. This is true.
We will see. All right. Well, for our audio listeners, I guess the video listeners too, let's go through them. So first up, we have the Joker, Jack Nicholson's Joker from Batman '89. Yeah. We have the Penguin, Batman Returns, Catwoman from Batman Returns, Riddler from Batman Forever, Two-Face from Batman Forever, Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin, Poison Ivy from Batman and Robin, Scarecrow from Batman Begins, Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins, Joker from The Dark Knight, Two-Face from The Dark Knight, Bane, Dark Knight Rises. Thought about adding Talia, but really, she was only a bad guy for like 2 minutes. So, and then we have Riddler from The Batman and Penguin from The Batman.
Nice. Good choices.
How you guys feel about this list? You excited?
I'm excited. I can't wait to hear you talk about the Batman Forever villain.
Well, somebody's got to go on the bottom, you know?
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked that we've never done this one. Of all of our rankings, I was like, how have we never done the Batman villain?
That's a very good question.
Well, let's fix it. Let's get into it.
Nice.
All right. Let's shuffle those up. There's our pile. Okay, so starting off, we've got Bane. Bane.
On your schedule.
How did you guys feel about Bane?
I liked Bane. I thought he was a strong character. I'm not saying his voice wasn't ridiculous, but I will say there's some on this list that I would not mind. Like if somebody was like, oh, you got to be in a dark alley and stop this crime, and it's with this person, I'd be fine with it. I would not be fine with this one. He would tear me to pieces and I would not enjoy it.
I think probably somewhere in the middle for me is probably where he lands. Yeah. 14. We haven't done a lot of 14 ones, so I'm not.
Yeah.
The first few are going to feel a little awkward, placing. So
totally.
I'm going to say 7.
Smack dab in the middle.
Smack dab in the middle.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I liked Bane.
I liked him too.
I liked Tom Hardy in it. I liked the physicality he brought to it. The voice was an interesting choice, but
it's a big part of it, though. I mean, like,
it's a big part of
the character, but like when he talked, it was kind of unsettling. But but middle's good because we like the actor's fine and the look and the attitude are all good, and then when he talked, it was a little like a bad Sean Connery impression through a muted mask.
Yeah.
Touche.
Okay, next up we have Arnold.
Oh, number
Mr.
1, baby.
Freeze.
Number 1 with a cold bullet.
I was thinking number 11.
That high?
Or 12. Wow. 11 or 12.
Nice to see you.
I was thinking like 14, but I
Oh.
guess
I
I'm
don't think
not
he's
14.
as bad as that. I think there's others who are worse than him, even in that movie.
Oh God, so bad.
And it was a bad movie. It wasn't a good movie. And
Bad
I'm
movie.
not saying he was good in it. I'm just saying there are other people who I think, even in that movie, who were worse. Like worse. And I'm not saying he's good, but I agree. Let's start him off at 12, bro. Let's say 12.
Charlie, you okay with that?
I'm okay with that for now, but you might have to talk me into some of these worse. Maybe I can think of one or two. So we'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Next up, Catwoman from Batman Returns.
Many people say that this is the pinnacle of the character of Catwoman right here. Agree? Disagree?
Oh, disagree.
Really?
My favorite
pinnacle of
Catwoman is Anne Hathaway's Catwoman.
Oh yeah, that's true. She really does. If you go back and watch, Michelle Pfeiffer does an excellent job of seeming very, very crazy. When she was sitting there looking in the mirror or in her reflection, and she's just like, "Why are you doing this?" And then Bruce Wayne comes up and she's like, "Oh, hey, I wasn't talking to myself. What do you mean?" I was like, "Oh, jeez. Oh no." Yes, I loved her performance. I would put her in the top 3.
But she's great. I think she's the best villain Catwoman.
Yeah. She is not a
Because
hero.
Anne Hathaway Catwoman isn't even on this list. I have a hard time like putting her as a villain. But as far as like villain Catwoman, man, this one's great. Just fighting with Batman, high fiber.
Heat floor, high fiber.
Okay, so where do you guys see in this? Higher? I mean, we kind of have like built-in tiers a little bit.
Yeah, it's true.
1 through 4, 5 through 9, and then 10 through 14.
What do you guys think? I mean, I'm good with 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think top row is good for now. So
I like that. You know what? I'm going to start her at number.
All right. Now and then speaking of 14.
Oh, come on.
No, speaking of
Brody's got this at 8.
13. Bro, you're going to have a time with this 14 if it's the one I think you're thinking of. And I'm fairly certain that I'm thinking correctly.
Brody wants Tommy Lee Jones at 14. Brody wants to separate the 14 rectangle, move it 4 sheets over on his spreadsheet, and put Tommy Lee Jones out there floating on a little tiny raft off into the nether.
No, it's not Tommy Lee Jones.
No,
Is
it's
it Jim
not.
Carrey?
It's from that,
You hate Jim Carrey more?
He hates that. He hates that iteration of the Riddler so much.
Brody doesn't like the character of the Riddler.
That's also.
Okay,
Bro,
we will get to that when the time comes. Right now, we're talking about Poison Ivy.
All right.
This was really bad.
I'll go with 13 for now, but she is
13.
really not good. She does a terrible job.
I'm hard pressed to put her below Arnold, but look.
You think she's better than Arnold in that movie?
I'm not sure. I've never seen a moment that made me like cringe harder than the ice skating sequence with Arnold in it. Like I've just never been watching a movie and felt so uncomfortable for another human being as I did in that scene. Like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed for everyone involved in this. It hurt me on like it was hard to get through. And look, it's all bad. It's all relatively bad, but that one
more embarrassing than Poison Ivy showing up in a giant gorilla costume and taking off the gorilla costume so that Batman can bid on her with his Batman credit card.
That was really bad. She starts.
Come on.
Up to him for no reason.
We're talking about horrible stuff here.
Such a bad movie. Oh my God.
So bad. It's so bad.
If you were watching this and you were maybe a young person or just someone who has never seen some of these older Batman films, this is maybe one that is on that edge of being so bad that you could laugh at it with friends. You could have some friends over and watch and laugh, but also maybe so bad in a way that you can't even do it. You can't even make fun of it. It's so bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
But try it. Maybe with the right kind of libations, you can get all the way through it.
No, you can go back and laugh at Batman and Robin because Batman and Robin knew that it was going to be ridiculous. The movie before that I have more issue where they were trying to be serious and still made a horrible movie. We'll get to that when it comes up though.
You hate
Unbelievable.
Batman Forever. I don't know how Batman and Robin's like the worst thing I've ever seen, but
I
all right,
agree with Charlie.
that's fine. Let's put Uma at 13. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay. They can
We don't
always
need to
move.
waste too
They
much
can
time
always
on it.
move. Okay, we've got Riddler from The Batman. How did you guys feel about this one?
Charlie?
Well, I mean, he was no Jim Carrey, so that was off the bat. It's like, where's the spandex? Where's the question marks? Where are the jokes?
Where are the jokes? Where's all the screaming? Because Jim Carrey all the time is like, "Woo!" And you know what? He did do some of that, so that's good because he was like, "Woo!" all the time. I'll say this in the beginning.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Go. You started.
In the beginning, I thought that he was menacing and he was cool and all that, and then we really got to see him, and it became a lot more Paul Dano, and I was like, becomes a lot less intimidating when Daniel Day-Lewis has beaten you to death with a bowling pin. Just is. I'm like,
I was gonna say the exact same thing, not the Daniel Day-Lewis stuff, but the starting out like Riddler at the beginning of this movie is really good, and as soon as we get the like found footage, like his YouTube videos of like,
yeah,
and that stuff, that's when I was like, oh, Brud, I think you just lost me. Like,
yeah.
I could feel it in me of like, oh, I just went to not liking this guy as much. Like,
he became a lot less intimidating.
So without that, he could have been like top tier, but he's I maybe like number 6 or so.
I don't think he's above Bane. I think Bane, even with his ridiculous voice, I would rather run into that Riddler in an alley. I don't think there's a lot he would do. Whereas again, Bane would crush my head with his hands.
Are we basing the list on who you wouldn't want to run into in a dark alley? Because
well, they're supposed to be enemies, and they should have.
Because Arnold's gonna have to skyrocket up the list, man. He's got ice
all of
skates
his
and a freeze ray, man.
With his outfit, he wouldn't be able to even catch me at all. He could barely point that gun. I'd be like, I'm just gonna lift up this trash can and be like, it's ice to see you too, sir.
I mean,
to see you.
You're talking about Bane bashing in your head. Riddler did bash in that politician's head with like a flooring hammer.
Yeah. That's fantastic, but
Bane can barely break a guy's back these days. It's like, you know, he beats him and he breaks his back, and then he's like, fine, and then he comes back and he loses the very next fight.
Yeah, that's true.
He just slipped a disc.
I'm just saying, like, if I don't know, I would put Bane at 6 and this Riddler at 7, or this Riddler at 8. As a Batman villain, he didn't do nearly as much damage to Batman.
All right, that's fine. Put him in either of those spots. Let's. There's still too many left for me to do the math.
Why don't we start at 8? We'll start.
I'll drop him at 8 for now. I think he go up though. All right, Scarecrow from Batman Begins.
I think he's a fantastic representation of what Scarecrow is, except in Batman Begins when he's like, Rachel Dawes, let me just kind of show you all the inner workings. It's not going to matter because I'm going to melt your mind. But before that, let me tell you, I'm going to show you everything.
Let's go through a tour of my whole operation.
Give you a tour. It doesn't matter. Besides that, I mean, and I will say, him doing that so nonchalantly did have a little bit of, like, when he did that, I was like, oh. Like, it's only in retrospect that I was like, it's ridiculous.
And I do, you know, I'm saying from Batman Begins, but he did show up in the other two, and he was great in the other two. They were glorified cameos, but I loved him. Him as like the judge when his suit is all like ripped and ruffled and stuff was great.
It was really good. I thought he was great, except for that one part that didn't make a lot of sense. I thought he was an excellent Scarecrow. He is not supposed to be physically intimidating. He was scary. Like when he's sitting there and they're like, hey, what is it? And he's like, it's the Batman. And I was like, oh, wow. He's doing good. I liked it a lot.
Charlie, all right, so
his performance.
Where should we put him?
I like the Scarecrow. Cillian Murphy's a good actor. I haven't watched a lot of Peaky Blinders, but it's on my list of things that maybe I'll get to one of these days. He's had an interesting career. But yeah, we could put him above Bane for sure.
Like
You want,
6?
you
Drop
want
him
to
to
try
6?
Yeah, 5 or 6 and see how that feels. 6 is fine. Let's put it at 6.
All right, we have Two-Face from Dark Knight.
This Two-Face is an excellent representation of Two-Face. This guy was completely insane, and it makes sense because he's had half his face fried right off.
That'll do
Just
it.
burnt right off.
Right off. Is it completely realistic? No, not at all. But I mean, like, they even said he's literally probably lost his mind from pain, which does make a lot of sense. And him flip the coin, I loved that. And that last scene in Batman is unbelievable with him when he's flipping the coin. I will say it didn't make a lot of sense to flip his own coin for himself in the middle instead of at the very end. But it didn't make, I mean, I'll live with that. That's fine. I think he's excellent. Excellent performance.
This was great. I almost wish that he didn't die. I know that like realistically, like he was gonna die anytime. So messed up. But it would have been really cool to have him be locked up and be able to come back.
Yeah.
For the third one. Because I really enjoyed him, and we didn't get like a whole lot. We got a lot of Harvey Dent, not a whole lot of Two.
Yeah, that was what I was gonna say. Like there wasn't as much Two-Face action as maybe I would have liked, comparative to some of the other villains. Aaron Eckhart's had an interesting career too. I would have thought he would have had a bigger run of stuff after Dark Knight.
Mm-hmm.
He just didn't. I don't know what happened to him.
But
hey,
but
if you're
the
watching, Aaron, let us know.
But the brief scenes we did get, I thought it was great. He was totally
good.
reliant on that coin. He scary with his look. I loved that they kept the half suit, like half of his suit was still just burnt, and he put it back on after coming out of the hospital. He owned it. And I really liked this one. I would have liked to have seen, but where do you guys think? Where are you guys thinking?
I'm thinking 4 or 5. That's what I'm thinking.
I was thinking 5. I definitely not 9. I think I like him better than Scarecrow though.
5's good. Let's put him 5 and see how it feels.
Okay.
Oh, number 1.
Number 1. Just slide it over, bro.
Number 14. Are you kidding me? This is the worst. This is the worst Batman villain of any movie villain that there is. This is a horrible representation of a comic book. He completely changed it from the comics. This is horrible. Dylan's right. He runs around screaming the entire time. He's got this horrible plan where he's using the TVs to gain knowledge and then like his face starts melting because he gets too much. It's so stupid. I hate this. This is my least favorite villain in my least favorite Batman movie it's my least favorite Batman movie because of this villain.
I love the fact that he says, "Riddle me this." I love that he took some of that. Even though he still was very, very Jim Carrey. He used a little bit of the Frank Gorshin, Batman '66 Riddler in there. A little bit of that laugh, a little bit of that chuckle, the "Riddle me this," the spandex.
He played it like he was playing Riddler from the 60s, which did not fit at all with the movies, especially like Batman Forever was trying to be a more serious movie. They have Val Kilmer. They have that whole
he was
so good. Cave scene where he's confronting the giant bat and stuff like that. And then just on the completely other end of the spectrum, you have this doggone Riddler that is just the worst. This is my number 14. I know you guys probably don't feel the same way. I'm just saying. Argue. Number 14.
I can't argue with your passion, Brody, because I will admit that there is not a person that's going to end up in this bottom row that I'm going to feel nearly as much disdain for as you. This is like the villain origin story of Brody. Jim Carrey, he kept screaming, so I grew a beard and I moved to Nevada, and I will get my revenge. 14.
He has a 14. He has a.
I will say, like we've talked, I've asked you guys before as like a bar room type question. If you could have a time machine that only worked to go back in time and watch the making of movies, Like this would be a fun one to travel back in time and just watch grumpy, angry Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey being cartoonish and Joel Schumacher being crazy and super cool Val Kilmer. Like this would be a really fun one to kind of like hover around and just kind of like, ooh, yes, all the tea, please. Let's be fun to watch the making of.
It would be
14.
It would be interesting. It would also be very frustrating to watch because I'd want to like say something. This isn't gonna work. It's gonna be horrible. So annoyed. All right, next up we have Jack Nicholson's Joker from Batman '89. Has this held up for you guys?
Oh yeah, definitely. I've gone back and I've shown my daughter Batman '89. I had to, and even though she doesn't remember it, and she probably fell asleep. Yeah, I love Jack Nicholson's rendition of the Joker. He earned that paycheck. He showed all the kinds of passion that he wanted, and he splatted it out in the screen. And you know what? It's not one of those things where it was particularly one note, and it wasn't like just mania and craziness. Like he had moments of calmness. He played the whole like Jack, I was a who, and but then he's like, I was a kid when I killed your parents. How was I all this kind of? You wouldn't hit a man with glasses on, would you? Eh? That that still makes me laugh. That still makes me laugh. I love this performance. If this is, I mean, I could see this as number 2. I could see it at 1 or 2, but I'm fairly certain 2 makes a lot of sense.
Bert, what about you? You and I have talked a little bit about '89. How was that held up for you?
It's held up. It's still good. I think that Nicholson does take it pretty far.
Oh yeah, nobody is arguing that. That's true. But he doesn't do like a Jim Carrey. He's not like quipping the entire time like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No,
and
not at all.
He's not just ridiculous randomness like Uma Thurman.
No. And I've read like interesting things about this take on the Joker. How this Joker is like purely ego driven. Right? He's not like, yes, he's insane, but like it's out of like a jealousy and an ego thing, which is like a really interesting way when you then watch it from that point of view. So it's still good. It's still a great movie. Like this, for the longest time, well, '89 until 2008, 8. Like this was the untouchable Joker, right? Like everybody was like, you can't ever do Joker because you'll top Nick. Yeah, it's an iconic Joker. So it's still up there.
Charlie,
I'd say, yeah.
I have probably gone through several large mind changes over the years about this particular film and this particular performance. Where, when I was a very young kid and saw it, and I thought it was like the best thing I'd ever seen. And then, you get into your college cinephile days and, and start to pick apart performances and the nuances of filmmaking and oh yes. And and stopped kind of appreciating it and then came back full circle as a little bit later and was like, you know what? It's good. Stop being so critical and now I've kind of nestled into a place where probably I'm not going to run out to rewatch it anytime soon, but I'm glad that it exists and I appreciate what it is, like a nice time capsule and a good bit of nostalgia wrapped up in a nice memory for me. So I if you say top 4, that's great. I definitely wouldn't want him number 1. I'm not sure. 2 is fine. 2 or 3 is fine. I wouldn't argue with that. If I was doing my own personal list, I might have him 4.
I was going to say above or below Catwoman.
Me personally, I might put him below.
Charlie. Never rub another man's rhubarb.
You're my number 1.
Number 1.
guy.
Okay, well,
for no reason.
He was imitating Jack.
He was imitating, Jack Palance, but for no reason at that point. It's not like he was just saying it out of nowhere. But I love that.
So 2 or 4?
I say
two
two.
for now, and then we'll
Okay.
sort it later.
We still got plenty to come out. So, all right. Next, we have Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins.
Eh.
I really like this.
Ducard. But
I really like Liam Neeson, and I was very I was very surprised by the turn for other people.
You didn't see it coming?
No. Would I? Everything billed him as Ducard.
Haven't you seen Memento? Haven't you seen like
this was like his second big movie. I mean,
Brody's got a trustworthy spirit. We don't want to encourage Brody to be trusting.
You should be trusting, bro. And the fact that he threw you for a loop should count for something, because he, you didn't mind your surroundings. Would you put him at 9 or 4? Or would you put him at 5 and push everybody down, or
maybe 4? Maybe 4.
Charlie, what do you think?
Charlie does not agree with that take. Woo.
That whole. All right, we don't need to get into a big thing about it. He would be lower for me.
Why?
How much lower?
I would probably have him in the middle, just like a nice neutral 7 to 9, probably for me. I don't think the performance was. I like Liam Neeson. I don't think he did anything that's particularly memorable, and then it wasn't even like a villain for most of the film, and then it led to one of the more frustrating Batman refusing to save him at the end, which I just think is like so anti-Batman that it was a frustrating ending to Batman Begins for me. That whole sequence was really irritating.
So would you put him above or below Bane?
I'd probably put, like, if this is my personal list, I'd probably have Bane a little lower, and I'd have him above Bane. But if you guys are telling me 5 or 6, I'm not gonna be mad about it. Like, that whole middle area is like a big tier. It's all fairly jumbled. I can nitpick reasons why I don't like people, and I can celebrate the good as well. It's Liam Neeson's great. I'm taken with him. He's fantastic.
Now well then how about this? Would you put him above or below Two-Face?
I'd probably put him below Two-Face. I really liked Eckhart in that movie.
All right, one last question: above or below Scarecrow? Cillian Murphy was pretty good.
Yeah, he was. I probably put him below. I don't know. I liked the comic booky feel of those. Like, I thought they were like they were the right mix of comic booky and dark for that movie. Was just that was a good movie.
Interesting.
People like it. I don't know if you've heard that, but people have enjoyed that film.
Which one? Dark Knight or Batman?
The Dark Knight. Yeah, people did like that movie.
That. That's a very niche film right there. Not a lot of people cared for it.
According to at least one person on this podcast, it's fine.
Oh, well, I know. I was shocked when Brody took it out of his number 1 and replaced it with Interstellar.
I was shocked too.
That was a controversial moment on this podcast.
I couldn't believe that.
That was the end of an
era.
Oh,
Charlie,
I still have nightmares about that. I wake up in a cold sweat and I'm like, oh, it's not Brody's number 1. He's gonna have to get an Interstellar tattoo, and he hasn't. But anyway.
Okay, so what are we doing?
Anywhere 5 to 9 is good for me. So anywhere in there is fine. So
Tudong, what are you thinking? Should we drop Riddler to 9?
Sure.
I'm trying to remember who else is to come.
Yeah, me too. Let's put him at 7 for now.
Okay.
Tentatively, with a capital T.
Okay.
Tentative.
Tommy Lee Jones is Two-Face.
Oh gosh.
11, I guess. Honestly, I'd rather watch Arnold than Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face.
I would rather watch Arnold too.
Tommy Lee Jones needs to be 13 for me, I think. I don't know. He was. I almost thought he was worse than Jim Carrey. There was no part of Jim Carrey's performance that I thought, oh, I'm so surprised that he's acting this way. It was like, the 90s. You knew exactly who Jim Carrey was. He hadn't done any of his like dramatic work. He hadn't retired, grown a beard, and become a painter. He was just like Jim Carrey. It's like splashing. This. So while it was a terrible performance, it was like exactly what when you told me Jim Carrey was playing the Riddler, it's like that's what I pictured. You tell me Tommy Lee Jones is in this movie, I'm thinking, okay, so there's some credibility there. He's a good actor, and then he comes out and just does like the just such an uncomfortable Two-Face. It was terrible.
I mean, he was running around screaming too, which is
Oh my gosh.
so not Two-Face. And like the extremes of all of the two-sided things. It's like, oh, we're gonna decorate all this, and I'm gonna have a dark girl, and I'm gonna have a white, and I'm gonna have like everything to the extreme, and like so tough.
And but that was basically it. There wasn't any actual characterization. It was all the surface stuff. They had nothing. The only time there was any surface or any deepness in his performance is at the very end when Batman's like, "Hey, now that you got the drop on us, you want to flip your coin?" And he was like, "Yeah, you're right, Bruce. You've always been a good friend. I'll flip the coin." And I was like, oh. I'm like, and he entered that scene that exact way. Everybody got up, they flew down the thing, Batman saved him, and suddenly we hear, bah! And I was like,
okay, so above or below Uma?
You guys really don't like him. You can put him one below or above, whatever you want to think of it. It's fine.
That's
no,
tough,
Charlie. Where
though.
were you putting
it? Really is tough. That's tough. I don't know. I'm not sure.
I'd probably keep the movies together. Like I think you keep Arnold and Uma together. You keep Tommy and Jim together. Is probably how I would roll it. But you're right. Uma, I mean, the character was bad.
She was so out of nowhere.
Tommy Lee Jones just looked like he hated being in that movie, and he did.
I think he did.
Screamed in Jim Carrey's face that he hated him. Right? That was that whole.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. That's so mean, so rude, so unnecessary.
Okay, so am I putting Two-Face at 12, or am I moving Uma up 12 and Tommy Lee Jones?
Nah, put him at 13.
Oh, put him at 13? Over. I don't like Tommy Lee.
I cannot stand what Uma Thurman does in this. I don't know what she's doing, but when you
really 13, what are we doing here?
But I mean, like, seriously, Tommy Lee Jones is really, really bad. At least Uma is, I mean, trying a lot of different things. None of them consistent, none of them good. But he's just doing the same thing, which is nothing, or a lot of nothing. Yeah. Big nothing.
Maybe just because it came first, but I feel like someone else could have done the Two-Face role and made it better. And I think that there's nothing that anyone could have done in Batman and Robin. None of you could replace any of the actors and it wouldn't change the outcome. But like you replace Jim Carrey, you replace Tommy Lee Jones, maybe we got a movie. Maybe we got a movie. I mean, maybe that's
Val Kilmer wasn't good. I liked Val Kilmer's Batman.
Maybe Joel's just in the background going, you know what? More yelling. Why are we not yelling more? Can we run in circles?
It was so screaming. Both of them, like in stupid helicopters, like screaming.
That's a spot on Joel Schumacher impression, by the way, that I just did.
That's spot on. That is spot on.
You can look that up. That is 100% spot on.
He tried saying that during Lost Boys, and they were like, Kiefer Sutherland was like,
"One of you Corys, start yelling, please!
Run in circles. It'll be great."
All right. Next up, we have Joker from The Dark Knight.
What do you think? 4? Okay, this is the most obvious number 1 of all time. Just drop it in. Come on, what are we doing here?
Yeah, what are you doing, bro? Come on.
I was waiting on Charlie. I was just trying to gauge Charlie's reaction there. I clearly it's me and Dylan's number 1. Who knows what Charlie might? Charlie may come and be like,
clearly,
he could have been number 1 guy.
All right, next we have Penguin from The Batman.
The Batman.
I enjoyed this Penguin.
I enjoyed it too. It wasn't very Penguin-like. It was very gangster-like.
It was very gangster-like, yeah.
It was. He took it seriously. I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
I like how he could translate the stuff better than Batman could. Like decode the stuff. Like, am I the only one that speaks Spanish here? Something like that.
That's a good point.
But this is probably more in the middle.
Yeah, it's kind of what I was thinking.
I mean, I mean, go ahead, bro.
I'd be okay moving Two-Face up to 4. Objections to that?
Well, not yet, but let's keep going so we can object.
Scarecrow to 5.
You're taking your time with this explanation. Keep going.
Roz to 6. And then Penguin somewhere in here, in this 7, 8, or 9 area. Because I liked him. He wasn't very penguin-y. I thought it was an interesting take because we've always thought of Penguin as like, oh, the mob boss Penguin. But
Yeah,
really
that's
the
true.
only other Penguin that we've gotten that hasn't come up yet has been Penguin from Batman Returns.
And we'll get to him.
We'll get to him
Okay.
definitely. Well, if I had to say, I'll say this: I'd still rather face this guy than Bane.
The only person you bring that up for is Bane. But yeah, we can put Bane above him. That's fine.
I wouldn't want to. All of the other people, I wouldn't want. I'd never want to see Two-Face like that. Two-Face in an alley. If they were like, "Go and stop that crime," I'd be like, "Oh, I don't know." And Ra's al Ghul as a ninja, I'd be like, "Nope." And Scarecrow with his scarecrowiness and all of his like stuffed fear gas, I'd be like, "Forget it." Any of the Jokers, Catwoman, she'd scratch my eyes out. Forget it. But then we get Bane, who'd crush my skull, and then we've got like Penguin.
I feel like you could take Jack Nicholson Joker pretty easily.
Oh, yeah, you could too, Dong.
He'd probably ask to shake my hand, and in my stupidity, I'd be like, "Oh, well, yeah, why not?" And I'd be like, "This was a terrible idea." Or he'd take out his quill pen, and I'd be like, "What a lovely writing pen." He'd be like, "Yes, it is." Right into my eyeball or something, and I'd be like, "Why did I do this?"
Yeah.
So I mean, like,
you gotta stay away from around any of the Jokers. Make sure there's no pens or pencils. You don't want to see any magic tricks. You don't want to shake any hands. You end the fight as quickly as possible. Don't give them a chance to get you.
All right, so question. This Penguin above or below Riddler?
Above.
Charlie?
I might flip-flop him, but I'm fine with that. It doesn't like offend me in any way.
Brode, what do you think? You think this Riddler is, I mean, Penguin was
I like this Riddler.
Like, oh.
Here's the thing, okay? I like this Riddler, but as I'm going down the list, I'm like, well, I think I like that guy better. I think I like that. I think I may like this Riddler better than Penguin.
Well, all right, well then put Penguin at 9 instead of 8.
Which is odd because I'm like, yeah, I like this one. And I do like him.
Yeah.
But I think I just like the other guys better.
Yeah.
All right. And then last up, we have our Batman Returns Danny DeVito Penguin.
Yeah. Biting people's noses. Eating raw fish. Like
this one, like,
thirsty with the ladies.
I think this one like fits perfectly at 10. Like,
what?
Lower tier.
Really?
No way. Get out of here with that nonsense.
What?
This is top tier right here. How do you say Danny DeVito in a lower tier in the same sentence? Get out of here.
It's Danny, that's Frank Reynolds, bro. I mean, he's got a point. It can't be 10. I mean, he was compelling. He was like pushing around Max Schreck.
He was such a weird character. Like,
why did you hate Batman Returns so much? Yeah. Can we talk about this? Why did you hate that? Was it Tim Burton? Is it the decline of your love of Tim Burton?
What are you talking about? I put Catwoman at number 3.
No, you allowed
weren't
us
going to do that. Yeah,
Catwoman at number 3.
Exactly. No, I said she's top tier. I said she's top tier.
Unbelievable. You hate Tim Burton so much. You used to love Tim Burton. Now it's all Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, I'm actually not like a big fan of this interpretation of Penguin.
Because of the umbrellas?
No, just because of all of it. Like,
I love that switchblade umbrella. He has it out. You don't even see the whole thing. I was like, oh yes. Yeah,
I enjoy
umbrella.
I enjoy the mob boss, like running the Iceberg Lounge, like sleazy businessman Penguin more than like
he's very sleazy.
He's a deformed like penguin man Penguin.
He's still very sleazy as well, if that makes you feel better.
Yeah.
Like he is
Also,
very
like, got
thirsty,
his weird circus family.
which makes
Well,
sense.
now you
Like,
hate the circus. You're attacking the
eats
circus tonight.
eats like the fish. So
See,
gross.
well, you heard it here on Talk Talk Punch. If you like to eat fish and enjoy the circus, you are the problem.
Okay, where would you guys put it? At least I'm putting an
I
idea
think
out
he does a
there.
point. For Charlie, where would you put him?
Oh, I'd have him 5, I think. Love me some Danny DeVito penguin.
He's pretty good. I don't know if
Dylan?
I would want to. I don't know if I would want to face him in a dark alley.
Oh my gosh.
I'd probably run away more than Bane. Just because I'd be like, oh no, forget that. I enjoy not having my nose bitten off. I don't want to be stabbed and fricasseed by an umbrella.
I mean, yes, if I ran into this guy in a dark alley, this guy would be number one. Because this guy, I'm running for the hills as soon as I see him waddling towards me.
I'd be like, no, please. I was just kidding. I don't have a first sword.
Let's do a dark alley list next time.
Okay,
And it'll just be,
all right.
you know, so all right. If you have him 10, I got him like more in that like 6 to 5 range. Why don't we settle? Why don't we compromise and put him somewhere like, 3?
Dylan, you didn't say where you would put him. Where would you put him?
I mean, like for me, I would put him in top tier. I wouldn't have a problem with 3. If
Really? Like all
I
like really top 4?
I like this interpretation. I thought it was really well done. I like this interpretation better technically than in the Batman because he is a lot more penguin-like, and I don't just mean how he looks. I mean he's got the top hat, he's got the umbrellas. He's still a mob boss. He's got his gang. And I love Catwoman's. As soon as she was like, to destroy Batman, we have to do the, like turn him into the one thing that he hates because we can't have him be a martyr. And I was like, she just said to destroy Batman. I cannot believe we saw this in a movie right here. They're talking about, again, conspiring against Batman. This is great. This is what you read. You don't watch it on movies yet.
On your deathbed, Brody, this is the penguin that you'll remember. You'll be like, Danny DeVito.
In his little Batmobile, controlling the Batmobile with his little Batmobile.
That's right.
Come on. You guys are kidding me. You guys are.
Why is it at every speech there's always somebody who brings eggs and tomatoes? Come on.
Okay, so where are we putting this? I thought of all of the things, I'm surprised that Danny DeVito's penguin is the most divisive of them.
Charlie,
you're gonna get
down. What do you think?
What if we put him in the middle tier somewhere?
Okay.
Is there a way in your heart, Brody, that you could put him in the middle tier somewhere?
Charlie,
sure.
Would you put him above or below the Riddler? Charlie,
look, I already told you he's in my top tier. So the answer to everyone in the middle is going to be above, but I'm willing to compromise to put him below.
I could say that I don't think I want him any higher than above Bane. I think he should be below Bane.
Okay, all right. Well, then why don't you put the other ones down a notch, and we put him at
Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell's penguin has now bottom tier,
which is okay because he wasn't in it a lot, and he was not very penguin. If you'd have called him if you called him Max Shrek, I'd have been like, all right, yeah. I wouldn't have been like, wait a minute, no, that's Penguin.
Yeah, he wasn't in it a lot, and I feel like the role that he played could have been in a number of any other characters. It felt like very much like you may like that interpretation of Penguin, but it also just makes him like, it'd be kind of like having the Joker, except he doesn't dress like a clown, and he's just kind of like a little bit crazy, and he like kills people, and it's like, wait, are we talking about Goodfellas and Joe Pesci, or like what are we like? Like once you start to strip away some of the, some of these different defining features, it just kind of becomes like, oh yeah, I've seen this character 1,000 times.
Okay, so how do you guys feel about this penguin at number 8?
Too low, but it's fine.
Too low? You both think it's too low?
No, 8 is fine. 8 is fine.
It's fine. Put him at 8.
Put him at 8 is good. Where's the Pharaoh? Bring out the Pharaoh.
Oh yeah, give me King Tut.
Give me King Tut.
All right. So, are we happy with this list? This is getting locked in as official Talk Talk Punch.
Charlie, if you want to raise the Penguin, I'll listen. I'll listen to what you think. Who it would be above.
So no, I mean that's fine. I might argue that Catwoman should be 2, but and I might argue that Cobble. Maybe I just have a deep nostalgia for Batman Returns for some reason. I don't know why that movie is like I'm trying to pump that one up. Or maybe just because I sense how much you hate it, Brody.
I don't hate it.
Well, your hatred does fuel his love.
We gotta balance each other out here. Come on, guys.
I didn't I say that we should put her at number 2, and you said 3. I'm shocked. Now you want her at 2. I mean, I'd be okay with it. I thought her performance is excellent.
Whatever Brody wants. I think Brody, you can just basically lock it in anytime you want by pressing a button. So just do it. It's a lot of red at the end. You know, it's like the red hair, and the red background, and then the red hair. So we have a lot of red at the bottom.
It's true.
It doesn't work in the Batman universe. We even got the red background there behind Colin Farrell. So that's good.
Yeah. Okay, so are we swapping Catwoman and Nicholson?
No, you guys like Nicholson it too, so I think that's fine. It's good.
I also really like Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman.
You do?
Dylan?
You do?
Yeah.
Brody?
Yeah, I really like her Catwoman.
I was the one who said we could put her at number 2. That was me.
It was early on.
I say we do it then. Let's do it. Let's be controversial. We gotta break up the Joker boys at the top.
Yeah,
a couple of Jokers at the top.
That's true. I mean, Jack Nicholson was excellent. He really, really was. But she was very disturbed.
Yeah, no shame in being third place behind those two.
That's true.
Those two.
Yeah, right. Okay. Any other changes?
Looks good to me.
Looks good, man. Looks very good.
All right, then we're gonna lock this in. Okay, so the final list. Here we go. At number 14 is the worst. It's Jim Carrey's Riddler, Batman. Followed up by Two-Face from Batman Forever. Deservedly at the bottom. That's the worst. All right, and then we have Poison Ivy from Batman and Robin. Or Schwarzenegger's Mr. Freeze from Batman and Robin. We have Colin Farrell's Penguin from The Batman. We have Riddler from The Batman. It's interesting that those movies all kind of stuck together. We have the Penguin from Batman Returns. We have Bane from Dark Knight Rises.
You're on my schedule. Come on.
We have Ra's al Ghul from Batman Begins. Scarecrow from Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Two-Face at number 4.
Excellent.
Dark Knight. The Joker from Batman 89 at number 3. Catwoman from Batman Returns at number 2. And Heath Ledger's Joker award-winning performance at number 1. Those are a mouthful. All right. Good job, guys. Actually,
I agree.
I'm just glad that Jim Carrey wound up on the bottom.
You knew that was going to happen. We weren't going to argue that with you.
Yeah, even if you guys put out really good points, I control the ticker. So he was.
Well, let us this one. It's our one because there's so many, and then I think our preferences really kind of vary a little bit more in this than some other lists. And I'm sure yours have as well. So make sure you let us know your order. If you don't want to do all 14, at least give us a top 5, a top 3, a top 1. Let us know. Talk up Batman Returns. Let's get Brody to watch it one more time. Make your best penguin sounds. Knock, 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 knock. Everybody go to the circus, eat a raw fish, bite the head off. Do it in honor of Danny DeVito. He is top tier, never to be a bottom tier. We love you, Danny. I know you're a big fan of the show. Big Double D, we love you. We'll see you, specifically Danny DeVito, next time, and also the rest of you. Make sure you click that like and subscribe below that grumpy beard, and watch Batman Returns with the people you love.
But don't watch Batman Forever. All right, bye.